So the first thing is, I want to say something for Pride Month. Every year I usually say something during Pride Month. And for anybody who doesn't know, I'm queer myself. I am an activist in the queer space. I have helped organize rallies against LGBT book banning efforts in the state and in the area and in my hometown. So a lot of this stuff is very near and dear to my heart. But I always don't know what new to bring to the conversation. It's tough to really figure out something new to say every year, when a lot of the things we struggle with, a lot of the problems we face are the same. It's the same people doing the same things, causing the same problems they always have. And within that, sometimes it can be hard to find a new way to say, well, we need to stand for love. We need to respect each other. But this year, I do think I have something a bit interesting to say, because I just came from Woodbury Pride. Woodbury just held its very first Pride rally ever. I think that's a pretty big congratulations. And it was a fantastic event. It was lovely. There were so many people from different parts of life, from different parts of Woodbury, different parts of the state, who came there for different reasons to stand together. And I spoke. And I was told that to speak as a way of helping bring everybody together. Won't surprise you guys, I was brought in as the person to bring everybody up and kind of focus on love and community. And when I was kind of thinking about how I was going to write that, I realized that it goes back to a lot of the things I've talked about on this corner, but it goes further than that now. That things have happened since I shared these sentiments on the corner that have pushed me further in ways that I think are important to talk about and discuss. Because I've talked about many times on this corner how we need to remember what we're fighting for. That anger and frustration is part of it, because naming what frustrates and scares us is part of catharsis and community. It's part of camaraderie. But we're not here because we want to be angry. We are here because we want to live our lives freely, happily, and openly, and comfortably. When I think about being here, the things that get me the most energized are the times people have come by and told us because we're here, they feel safe doing their thing. That their kid can go to school feeling safe. He can live his life. That they can go home and be alone in their house and still feel loved and respected in their communities. I think so often we're fighting for those quieter moments, or at least for those less vocal in public moments. The moments that help us simply feel loved. Because part of being queer that I don't think we talk about enough is so much of the beauty of feeling comfortable as yourself as a queer person is knowing that when people look at you, they see you. So if they love you for who you are. This is something I didn't get for the longest time. My parents didn't know I was queer, and I didn't think it really mattered. They didn't have too strong opinions about it. They weren't going to be negative. They weren't going to be against me. And I thought it just didn't really matter that much. And then, eventually, when I was told them I was queer, it didn't change anything. They treated me the exact same way, but it changed me. Being able to feel seen as myself and loved as myself was a feeling that I was not ready for, and was more powerful than anything I could have expected. And in those moments, I realized how important getting to live our lives is. Not just being out here yelling or screaming, or even just sharing in anger, but the moments where we get to share in love in quiet, small spaces. So, I was talking at Woodbury, and I brought up a song, something you guys might be very familiar with, but I brought up a song by a band called Against Me. And I brought up the song because I wanted to talk about something very personal to me, something that I felt comfortable sharing. And in that moment, I thought of Justice Southbury. Because here, we are not all in the same boat, or we all don't share the same things I share at a Pride event. At a Pride event, I feel that camaraderie with people who have lived my experience. And it's completely understandable that I don't have that everywhere, especially in spaces with less queer people. But I realized something as I was talking. As I was talking about Against Me and their record, Transgender Dysphoria Blues, and their opening song, the title track on the record, there is a line that goes, You want them to notice the ragged ends on your summer dress. You want to see them like you see you want them to see you like they see every other girl. But they just see, and you guys know how that line ends. And that really speaks to me. Not just because it speaks to the quiet moments, but because when I'm struggling the most, when I'm having the hardest time with how I'm seen and how I'm understood, what I think about is being home with my partner and then complimenting the ragged ends on my summer dress. So I'm a big fan of summer dresses. And I don't think my love for dresses is something I've ever shared here. It's something very personal. And I understand why I didn't share it here. I understand why I needed it in a space that felt so people who have lived it. I did it at a Pride event. But it was really funny that right after I did it at a Pride event, I knew who I wanted to tell next. And it was Justice Southbury. Because while we all might not have exactly the same understandings or identities, there is something here that I think is so beautiful and important, and something that Liz and I were talking about the other week that I really wanted to share. And it's the fact that we, at this space, engage with things with such open, genuine curiosity and love. The amount of genuine questions I've been asked here, just literal, I want to know what this means. Just tell me what it means. The ways that people have asked me questions with truly no bias or opinion. They just want to talk and know me and understand me. And seeing that for each of us, that has been so powerful in my opinion. And while it might not drive everything to work out perfectly all the time, it might not drive every person to be at this corner as open as possible, it does drive people. And in that moment, when I was in Woodbury and I shared this, it drove me to go, I know who I want to tell next. And it's the people I can trust to talk to me about these things in ways that feel meaningful and loving and genuine and honest. So thank you.